Bill and Vonette Bright were an ordinary couple with big dreams of building a business empire. But on an ordinary afternoon in the lush hills of Hollywood, they traded their dreams for an even bigger dream, to build an empire for Jesus Christ. In a simple act of prayer on that fateful day, they made a contract with God to do His work for the rest of their lives. A worldwide movement was born.
Like Bill and Vonette Bright, David Hocktay too wanted to be a successful businessman, although he felt God calling him to full-time ministry. In his third year in university, he was struck by a bout of incurable hepatitis. God spared his life in answer to the prayers of many. Grateful to be alive, David promised to serve God all his life. In 1968, David and Mary Hocktay founded Malaysia Campus Crusade for Christ, or MCCC. The slogan for the movement was, "Win the campus today, win the world tomorrow." So they decided to start the ministry in University Malaya.
There is no limit to what God can do to those who are willing to surrender to and follow Him. As a faith-based organization, it has been an exciting adventure of trusting God every day, seeing Him open new doors, raise more manpower, and provide financially. This video highlights how God has led MCCC over the past 45 years.
Campus Crusade has been characterized by initiative evangelism centered on the four spiritual laws. Bill Bright condensed the essence of the gospel into 4 basic principles and printed them in a booklet in 1965. The 4 spiritual laws booklet has become one of the most effective evangelistic tools ever developed.
Creative breakthrough in mass evangelism such as the International Musical Night, the Crossroads, and Andre Cole attracted thousands through their use of music and illusions. Another great breakthrough was the I Found It, a unique mass media campaign in 1977. Through this campaign, more than 11,000 people from 7 cities heard the gospel, and 3,000 received Christ through the combined effort of 99 churches.
From the earliest days, training has been a key factor to grow the movement. Therefore, in 1979, MCCC launched the Great Commission Training Center Ministry in Shah Alam.
One of the main purposes is to evangelize villages and train workers to minister to the spiritual needs of people in the rural areas. Over the years, more than 400 young men and women have been trained as village and firm staff.
In the early years, MCCC worked primarily among the Chinese. When Philip Voon pioneered the Sabah ministry in 1980, he refused to allow language barrier to limit his scope of ministry. With just a smattering of Bahasa Malaysia and the help of an interpreter, he interviewed and recruited his first batch of 7 young Sabahans. His foresight laid the foundation for a multiracial and cross-cultural ministry in MCCC.
With trained workers in place, what was needed was a mass evangelistic tool to grow the ministry. God provided a tool, the Jesus Film, which is an account of the life of Christ based on the Gospel of Luke. Since 1980, Jesus Film teams have traveled to nearly all parts of Malaysia, both in the urban and rural areas. Thousands of Dusuns and Ibans who have never watched a movie saw the Jesus Film in their own village and in their own language. Joanne, our accountant then, recalled how God provided during a national economic crisis which affected the financial cash flow, resulting occasionally in insufficient money to pay staff salary.
I learned to venture ahead by faith, not by feelings. I learned that worrying is futile as I can't will anything to happen.
Yut Lin, an office staff, recounted.
When the Tencent Gospel Partnership Program was launched, I was enthusiastic, yet skeptical. I whispered a prayer for every letter that I inserted in the envelope. The response to this project broke past records. It showed me that Christians are still concerned for the work of the Lord.
When Philip started a singing group called the New Hope Singers, he brought variety to the evangelistic thrust of MCCC. Their performance had a unique format, patterned after the four spiritual laws presentation, woven in songs and testimonies. Since it started, the group has toured East and West Malaysia twice, including performing at the San Chun Hall in Wisma MCA, the Sabah Foundation Auditorium, and the Geodesic Dome in Penang.
What was most unforgettable was Explo 85 at Wisma MCA, the largest worldwide satellite training conference that was broadcasted to 94 sites worldwide. Though Malaysia could not obtain the live telecast permit, the 2,041 participants were inspired as they learned what God was doing around the world through the pre-recorded televised sessions.
Lim Gyok Sing was the second national director. He focused on breaking new ground. His dream was to make Malaysia a sending nation. The yearly mission projects to different locations served to prepare Malaysia to be a blessing to other nations. Gyok Sing's dream was fulfilled in 1994 when MCCC sent the first mission trippers for overseas missions.
In December 1994, MCCC shifted to its current office in Petaling Jaya. Joanne shared,
God provided our 4.5-story building in SS2 in His own good timing. For 3 years, I searched for a suitable office at a good price. It was frustrating, but when God worked, it barely took 3 months.
When Philip took over in 1994 as the national director, he believed that to achieve gospel saturation, every believer must be mobilized, and partnership with mission-minded churches was crucial. Initiated by MCCC, New Life 2000 Malaysia sought to give every reachable Malaysian a chance to hear the gospel by the end of 2000. The initiative was in partnership with 502 churches nationwide. An estimated 15,000 volunteers rose to the challenge, spreading the gospel within their personal network by distributing gospel tracts, Jesus videos, and other materials.
While Yuk Wong was at the helm, he focused on building a generation of influencers and connecting with the local communities. His dream was that people would not only have a chance to hear the gospel, but also see the gospel being lived out in everyday life. The iCare Kuching projects, which started since 2004, seeks to build bridges to the gospel through community service in Kuching.
As MCCC celebrates God's faithfulness, it's time to ponder the challenges ahead. MCCC has always looked for new and relevant ways to share the good news of Jesus Christ. Today, the 4 spiritual laws are available in more than 200 languages and in many formats. Jesus Film, the world's most translated film in 1,100 languages, made its internet debut in 2004.
Founded as a ministry for campus students, MCCC has since expanded to include working professionals, families, children, high school students, and teachers. The following are 2 exciting testimonies. Junyi, a campus student who is also a new believer.
I was overjoyed after praying and receiving Christ with an MCCC staff that shared the good news with my roommates as soon as I returned to my room that night. Today, I still share with my classmates whenever I have the opportunity.
Don Tiong, a CEO of a company in Cebu.
What really inspires me is seeing God's wonderful work everywhere and how He transcends man's limitations. I want to be where God can use me to influence many others for Him.
We thank God that what began with 2 people has grown to 100-odd staff members serving in 6 locations throughout Malaysia. It is a movement that has touched countless lives. Today, there are former student disciples who are serving as church leaders and full-time workers, and former staff members who have gone on to pastor churches nationwide.
Join us as we continue to stay true to our vision and pursue our God-given mission.